Good morning. Morning. A warm welcome to all of you at the First Universalist Church of Yarmouth and to our guest minister today, Pastor Emma Mitchell, who you will meet in a minute. My name is Debbie Woodbury, and I am a worship assistant on our worship council. I'm glad to be greeting you this morning. Whether you are here in the sanctuary or whether you are joining us on Zoom. We know you come here for different reasons, to find community, to seek your spiritual and personal truths, to question, to nurture your heart and soul, to explore new ideas, to find comfort, or perhaps to find the answers to some of life's big questions. Whoever you are and whatever your reason for being here today, you are welcome. At First Universalist, our mission is to explore our faith, embrace the community, and to engage the world as spiritual seekers. We take these words to heart each and every week. For those of you joining us with young children, nursery care is available during our service for babies and toddlers. Our nursery is located out this door and down the hallway on the left. You will notice that you have a salmon-colored connections card in the pew in front of you. If you are new, filling out the card is a great way for us to get to know that you'd like to stay in touch. You can drop it in the offering plate when it is passed later in our service. I'd like to draw your attention to a couple of announcements in the insert of your order of worship. The first is that the Grief and Loss Support Group will be today. It's usually on the last Sunday of the month, but there's been a change, and so it's at 12 to 1:30 today. And the second is this Tuesday from 8:30 to 9:30. Reverend Hillary will be hosting Lectio Divina in the gathering room. Lectio Divina means divine reading in Latin, and it is an age-old spiritual practice to discover and seek deeper meaning in readings we hold sacred, be they scripture, poetry, literature, or lyrics. All are welcome to bring your coffee or tea and join Reverend Hillary as she leads us in this always engaging spiritual practice. Following our service, all are invited to join us for coffee hour, our time of friendship and fellowship downstairs in the gathering room. And now, I invite you to take a deep breath and to settle into this time together. Our music director, Sam Chandler, and the choir will lead us into worship.
Caminando en la luz de Dios. marching, marching, we are marching in the light of the love of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God.
Wow, what a beautiful way to begin our service together. Good morning, beloved community. My name is Emma. I'm so blessed and grateful to be here with you this morning. I came in from Brunswick, where my family and I have just moved from Boston back in February, so I tell you, I am so grateful that the trees have started leafing out. I'm like, spring is finally here. And I'm so thankful to be among you. I'm in the process of the ordination in the United Church of Christ, which you may have heard this joke before, but people joke that's Unitarians considering Christ. So I feel very at home among you, and I'm so grateful for this warm welcome and for Debbie for inviting me. And I just want to take another moment to welcome you exactly as you are. These are wild times we are living through, and each one of you such an important thread in the fabric of belonging that we're weaving here together. So whatever it is you're showing up with today, whatever is on your heart, whoever you are so warmly welcomed into this sanctuary of belonging. And I want to say that sometimes it takes some inner work to really let all parts of ourselves be fully welcome, right? The parts that we want to push away, the parts that we wish weren't there, the parts that are heavy or hard to carry. So let yourself, in this next moment of breath together, just experience the fullness of welcome from inside of you towards all of yourself, towards the beloved sitting next to you. Every bit of who you are at home and welcome here. A while ago, almost 10 years ago now actually, I spent some time in Northern Ireland at a peace and reconciliation center called Corrymeela. And there we prayed a particular prayer every morning, a prayer for courage, because it was a place where a lot of conflict work happened. And there's a line in that prayer for courage that I just want to invoke here at the beginning. In Irish, the word for heart is cree. And what they would say in this prayer is they said, courage comes from the heart. And we are always welcomed by God, the cree of all being, the heart of all being. And so whatever words you use for God, however you understand God or seek to understand God, whether that's the mystery that connects us, the love that flows between us, mycelial fungal roots of connection and belonging, I invite you to allow yourself to be fully welcome by the heart of all being. Please, won't you join me in our responsive call to worship this morning? We gather this day as a community of seekers, awakening to the presence of the divine around, between, and within us. We come to worship with hearts open to wonder and awe. Come, all you who have wondered at the stars and felt the smallness and the greatness of your being. Come, you who have sat with a mystery and let it change you. In this aching and beautiful world calling out for us to awaken, we honor the blessed truth that we do not carry this all alone. May our worship stir up in us the wonder of a newborn baby and the courage of a pilgrim who steps forward into the darkness.
Awaken us the gift of awe and the devotion to live our lives in dynamic partnership with the unknown.
We enter now this sanctuary of our unconditional belonging to the great mystery that weaves us together. So let us awaken again to wonder and to worship. May it be so. Beloveds, please rise in body or spirit and join me in hymn number 317 in the gray hymnal, We Are Not Our Own.
And we'll be doing verses number 1, 2, and 4.
Thank you, Sam.
We are not our own, earth forms us, human leaves on nature's growing vine, fruit of many generations, seeds of life divine. We are not alone, earth names us, past and present, peoples near and far, family and friends and strangers, show us who we are. Let us be a house of welcome, living stone upholding living stone, gladly showing all our neighbors we are not our own.
Amen. And please let us join together, stay standing for the moment. Let us join together in our unison affirmation found in your bulletin. We are united in seeking to increase love with justice and to constitute a free church open to all people, mindful of our past and drawing upon modern knowledge. We respond to the spiritual needs of persons and are devoted to the common good in community, nation, and world. We cherish the integrity of each individual and search for truth with reason as our guide. We respect differences of opinion and strive to be a democratic community. We are concerned with this world and open to the future. Thank you. You may be seated.
Are there any kids today who would like to come forward and help me light the chalice? And then I'm hoping you'll stay up front for us to play with these colors up here. And you know what? I'm going to need 4 grown-ups when we get to the color part. So start thinking if you might want to be one of those grown-ups who could help. Everett, do you want to light the chalice? Okay. You do? You want to light it? Natalie, do you want to hold the mic? No. Lainey, do you want to hold the mic? No. All right, are you ready? Everett, do you want to hold the mic? Yeah. All right, you ready? Go for it.
Harder.
You almost got it.
We light our chalice in peace and friendship.
Thank you. All right, if you want to, you can stay up front here. Maybe just line up along these steps. You'll be a grown-up? All right, I think we need Will you be a grown-up? You'll try. We need 2 more grown-ups. It looks like Emily's being a grown-up. Debbie, yay! Would you mind passing out a cup, hopefully to everyone? To the kids, yeah. All right. Hopefully we have enough cups. Okay, and would each of the grown-ups take a color? One of the colored cups of water. All right. So you might have noticed all the colorful cups of water here. Well, today each color represents something that you might be curious about or want to explore. So blue, can you hold up blue, is if you're curious about animals. Red is if you're curious about helping people. Yellow is curious about the way things work. And green is curious about nature. So those are just a few things you could be curious about. You could be curious about a whole bunch more things, but that's just 4 examples. So today, we're each going to get a little bit of water added in your cup if you're curious about each or one of those things. All right, so if you're curious about animals, blue, can you raise your hand? And you get a little bit of blue. All right, let's go next. If you're curious about helping people, raise your hand. All right, if you're curious about the way things work, raise your hand for yellow. You got green. All right, finally, and if you're curious about nature, can you raise your hand to get some green? All right, wow. Okay, now did everyone swirl around their cups, make sure they got their color? All right, can you hold up your cups high so everyone can see them? Wow. All right, can you still see the original colors you got in your cups? No? You can remember, that's really good. Do you think they're still in the cup though, even though, yes, wow. Okay. Oh, uh-oh. All right, we will get paper towels. Yes, thank you. In the bathroom, right in the hall. All right, thank you. So every time we follow our curiosity, every time we ask a question, try something new, or learn something, we're adding something to who we're becoming, something that will help build a bridge to our future selves. We got great. Just like the colors didn't stay the same, we don't stay the same either. We become something new, something made from all the things we're curious about and all the things we've learned. Every day, as we are curious, as we change, as we grow, we're becoming our future selves. Now, today, my curious friends, we are going to bring our cups very carefully into this hallway, and we're going to pour the water into a jug, and then we're going to go downstairs and have our strawberry shortcake picnic and play some games. But very first, we're going to say our children's blessing. with no hands. Kids, don't use your hands for this. Just the grown-ups, just the grown-ups. We are Unitarian, Universalist, people of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. Oh yeah, I have a little picture right there. Oh, green!
What a joy to be with you here today. My name is Landis, and it's just lovely to see old friends, family, and this wonderful, beloved community. Mariana asked me to say a few words before she reads her poem. My name is Landis. I'm a longtime Yarmouth resident. I'm also the executive director of the nonprofit Maine Rivers, and I'm going to say a few words about fish. This is the season when our native migratory fish come back to spawn, and alewives are one of 12 of our native sea-run species, and it's a miraculous, magical, amazing time when we can make our way out into the world to witness a little bit of this miraculous journey. Alewives are the base of the food chain. They're not a particularly glamorous fish. They're not very good at hiding. They make their way in large schools. They're eaten by an incredible number of creatures: eagles, osprey, cod, haddock, mink, fox. Everybody eats these fish, and they're not very good at hiding, so they just exist in tremendous numbers. They are known as river herring. They're connected to blueback herring. Alosa pseudoharengus is their Latin name. We created an alewife trail map that can give you some ideas of places to go see these creatures. This is the time when we can find them making their way from the ocean, where they spend most of their lives, sometimes making it all the way down to the Carolinas, before trying to return back to the pond or lake where they were spawned. They are kind of mysterious, interesting creatures. We know a lot about them, but we certainly don't know everything about them. I guess what's most amazing to me is that over time, we humans have just about decimated their populations. Many of our sea-run creatures, our migratory species, have had trouble with overfishing, pollution, and dams, which have dropped their population. Historically, people say that in the springtime, when these creatures return to our waterways, the rivers, the streams were silver, and you could walk across them. For many, many generations, that was true for thousands of years. However, in many places, their populations were just about completely decimated. The St. Croix Scudic River had a population of 900 in 2012. It should have more like 30 million. With efforts of lots of different people, their numbers are coming back. And tribal people, nonprofits, agencies, a lot of people are working together. I was very lucky this year to be able to go to central Maine to witness the migratory populations coming into the Sebasticook, where 30 years ago, almost zero, and now millions and millions of fish are being counted, making their way into our lakes through our rivers and streams. So it's exciting, but it's a difficult journey for these little fish, and a lot of them get eaten by hungry creatures in the springtime. So joyful to be here, and now here's Mariana. Thank you, Landis. Hit it, Pete.
On? Okay, thank you. So the name of this poem is Alewives. Alewives, I am afraid of fish. I am afraid to look at them, to watch them struggling upstream in the spring, where the ladder begins. Within yards of its commencement, the first dead fish begin to float down. Their eyes are as blank as buttons. Their bodies float on the surface of the stream like leaves. Everywhere I look, there are miraculously more. Some fish are already halfway to the top, while others are just daring to begin. With surging strength, they fight the current of the maze, hug the concrete, wriggle upwards with a motion that appears stationary in the ripples until suddenly they round the next bend and slip into an eddy. I should have come hungry to witness this, arrive sweaty and sleepless as I imagined them to be. Ospreys hover overhead. Crowds of people tremble on the banks, watching, waiting to see if they can help the fish or them. In the pond above the fish ladder, the survivors are swimming in slow circles, catching their breath.
Thank you, Mariana. Thank you, Landis. My name is Joanna Landsman. I serve on the Spiritual Care Council that supports Reverend Hillary in the area of pastoral care. And this is the time in our service for quiet contemplation and reflection. Following a time of quiet, I'll ring a chime and invite you to come forward to light a candle of joy, sorrow, or concern. But first, please join me in taking a deep, peaceful breath in, a calming breath out, and enter into a sacred time of silence. If you wish to light a candle this morning, please line up along this wall and using the microphone, tell us your name. And after sharing your joy or concern, light your candle and place it at the far end of the vessel, moving closer and closer to the pulpit, being careful never to reach over an open flame. If you're with a child who would like to light a candle this morning, please accompany them. And our friends on Zoom may type your joy or concern into the chat, and we'll read them aloud and light a candle on your behalf. Please know that it's totally okay to speak your words while someone else is lighting their candle. And of course, silent candles are always welcome. And finally, a reminder to respect privacy. We do not record this portion of our service. Does anyone wish to light a candle this morning?
Now I'll invite Debbie up for an offering of gifts.
This week, Faith in Action selected our half-plate recipient to be Palaver Strings. a musician-led string ensemble based in Portland. Palaver's mission is to strengthen and inspire community through music. Palaver's musicians share a passion for addressing social justice issues and amplifying the underrepresented voices. Equally committed to performance and education, Palaver serves hundreds of students from diverse backgrounds. Thank you for your generosity today.
Please rise in body and spirit and join us in our song of thanksgiving.
You may be seated. What a joy it is to get a sense of the depth and the joy of the life in this place, you all. You're doing something so beautiful together. And I'm like, the young people have strawberry shortcake picnic. That's church if I ever heard of church, you know? It's beautiful. So I'm going to add to our rich tapestry of offerings this morning, such gorgeous music, and already a beautiful poem from Mariana. Thank you, Mariana, wherever you are. This is a reading from Mary Oliver. It's called It Was Early. It was early, which has always been my hour to begin looking at the world. And of course, even in the darkness, to begin listening to it, especially under the pines where the owl lives and sometimes calls out as I walk by, as he did on this morning. So many gifts. What do they mean? In the marshes where the pink light was just arriving, the mink with his bristle tail was stalking the soft-eared mice. And in the pines, the cones were heavy, each one ordained to open. Sometimes I need only to stand wherever I am to be blessed. Little mink, let me watch you. Little mice, run and run. Dear pine cone, let me hold you as you open. A sacred text, if there ever was one, am I right? I like to count Mary Oliver as one of my patron saints, and I'll tell you, from what I know about her personality, I don't think she would necessarily appreciate that, but I claim it anyway, because I'm so grateful for the ways that she lived her gifts and shared them so generously with us during her lifetime. She returns me again and again to the practice of paying attention at the micro level and shows me that that's a gateway into awe and devotion, which, not so coincidentally, is what I want us to meditate on together today. Attention as a gateway into awe and devotion. And so, beloveds, please will you pray with me once more. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts together make something new and possible with your partnership, O God, Spirit of love, mystery that connects us, my rock and my redeemer. Amen. So, friends, I became a mom last year, in this very season, actually, of the earth's bursting forth. The magnolias were blooming when my daughter Juniper was born. She just turned 1. She's at home napping with her auntie right now. And when I first read this Mary Oliver poem and I heard that first line, it was early, which has always been my hour to begin looking at the world. I thought, of course, of the fact that Mary Oliver was often called out into the world in the pre-dawn hours, so early, before there was even light. And then I also thought, it was early, feels to me like early in a life. It feels to me like being a newborn, fresh to the world, and beginning to look at the world for the very first time. Although for a baby, that line might read, it was early, which is my hour to begin tasting and grabbing for the world and testing it all with my mouth. Any other toddler or baby parents, you know what I'm talking about, grandparents, caregivers. See, mothering Juniper has taught me so much about the wonders of being alive. Wonders that I often miss or completely take for granted if she's not by my side. Take the maple outside our front door, for example. We've been in the habit of saying goodnight to this maple ever since we moved in February, since it stands right outside of her bedroom window and kind of guards her rest. Now that the weather's gotten warmer, I've been taking her outside to say goodnight to the maple body to body, and she reaches out her tiny hands to the maple's bark, and she just feels each ridge with such attention and such newness, such curiosity. She pulls at the lichen growing on the maple's trunk. And the other day, we were sitting on her bedroom floor, I think finishing a diaper change or something, and I look over at her and I see her looking up through the window with just this air of awe and almost kind of bewilderment, like, what's going on? And I followed where she was looking, and I saw that she was seeing the maple leaves, which had just emerged, move in the wind for the very first time. Wonder, true wonder. This time in Juniper's life is also about what fits inside of what. She pulls all the water bottles off the shelves and hands me their caps with this confident air of someone who knows that they're about to give like a killer gift. Look what I got for you. She loves to put her toys in our big watering can and shake them around, marveling at what can fit, what noises they make when they're inside. She's also been learning to clap. And the other day, we went down to a rocky beach near our home in Brunswick for my first swim of the season, and she just sat there for literally 20 minutes, picking up different rocks and clapping them together to see the different tones that they made. And she grinned her toothy grin. She is hungry for the world, my daughter, and she also drops into this kind of focused attention on whatever is in her hands, or whatever's in front of her eyes, or whatever's in her mouth. That reminds me of the attention that Mary Oliver is inviting us into in this poem, and that Mariana invited us into in her poem as well. Holding the pine cone, right? This specific pine cone that Mary Oliver talks about in the palm of her hand, marveling at how it is ordained to open, feeling in her mind's eye the soft ears of the mice who run from the mink. Like reading Mary's poetry, being with Juniper initiates me into fresh wonder, into remembering the miracle of being alive, not through a sweeping or grandiose awareness, but through gazing with sustained attention at this particular maple, this particular lichen on its bark, this particular deer shaking their tail as they munch on the edge of the woods outside of our house, this dandelion, this one, who has surrendered their body to seeds and the way the wind dances them across the water. It's the sustained focus of our attention on the minutiae and the specific characters of our life and our habitat that, for me, delivers me back to wonder and to awe. And we need that good medicine these days, don't we? I know I do. I don't know about you, but these days I often feel like there's kind of like a cinder block of dread on the center of my chest sometimes. In these times of war, of billions of dollars being spent to attack people in other countries while many people are unable to buy adequate groceries, in times of children separated from their families and the doors of families kicked down in the middle of the night, in the early hours of the morning, my attention can so often feel scattered and frantic. It's like this potent mix of a feeling of helplessness mixed with fear for the future and rage at the ways that people in power seem to disregard life. I can walk around my neighborhood on a normal day surrounded by all these wonders that Juniper can see, but feeling like a stone is tied around my neck. My brain is entirely somewhere else. And don't get me wrong, I'm actually really grateful that I'm feeling all of that. To me, it's a sign that I'm awake to the suffering of the world, something that I never want to fall asleep to. I never want any of us to fall asleep to it. Bless the ways that we grieve for the suffering of the world, and bless even our anxiety. It's a sacred reminder of our interdependence, that when one of us is not okay, we are not okay. of the way we're woven all into one cloth of life. So that said, my despair and my anxiety often make me freeze in fear. They don't fuel courageous or sustained action in concert with others that might help to shift things. They take me out of close attention to the ways that life is flourishing and making creative ways all around me. They dissipate my attention, and they often want to convince me of the certainty of doom. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I miss the maples leafing out in the midst of it all. I miss the neighbors bringing groceries to an elderly neighbor who had a fall last week. I miss the dandelions slowly, in divine timing, turning their bodies to seed, a prayer for the future. Have you been there too? Recently, maybe? Feeling anxious and scattered, feeling helpless and yet also so called, so pulled to do something, hearing the siren call of the certainty of despair. I'm so thankful to be a mother in this season for so many reasons. Without a doubt, it is paying attention with Junie, practicing newborn attention, poet's attention, the attention that zeroes in on the lichen, on the maple tree, on the alewives jumping in the river, on the softness of the fern frond, on the sound that two hands or two rocks make when they're clapping. It is paying attention like that that is medicine for when my brain is pulled toward dread. It initiates me into curiosity, and then to awe, which is a reminder that the world is so much vaster, beloveds, and more miraculous than my consciousness could ever grasp. There's hope in that, because a world that is miraculous and vast and purely ungraspable is a world in which we can experiment with taking action in collaboration with the divine. It's a world that can continue to surprise us. It's a world in which we can take action in collaboration with love and see what shifts. It's a world in which we do not know everything. Thank goodness. Not even close. And those limits of our knowing are actually a divine blessing. We belong inside of an ecosystem of other earthlings, alewives and mink, squirrels, deer, each other. Moving together, experimenting together, making new things possible together. If the diffuse attention of dread keeps me frozen and scattered, loving attention to the specific wonders around me delivers me again and again to the sacredness of life. It helps me fall back in love with being alive. Mary puts it this way in her book, Upstream. Attention is the beginning of devotion, she says. Attention is the beginning of devotion. Attention of the one-year-old variety binds us to the sacredness of life. And it beckons us to take risks on behalf of love, releasing the illusion that we will get to know the outcome, but risking nonetheless, because that's what love calls us to do. Beloveds, tomorrow we will mark Memorial Day, which for our culture at large has become an excuse for beginning of the summer sales and a long weekend. But at its heart is a collective opportunity to remember the sacredness of each beloved and singular life, and to offer the loving light of our specific attention on those we have lost, particularly those who have been lost to the tragedy of war. I love the song Breaths that was sung at the offertory today, reminding us that the dead are not gone from the earth, but they are among us in the trees, in our breath, in our hope, in the waters, in our tears. And so on this day, we're invited, we can choose to focus our attention on the miracle and singularity of each life, forgetting about sides, forgetting about national boundaries. I remember in the early days of nursing Juniper when she was just weeks old, I would hold her and gaze at her face as she was feeding, and I felt this is the most anti-war experience I have ever had in my entire life. I was holding, in a sense, the pine cone of her soul ordained to open, feeding her tender new body with everything I had. And I felt how each life, human lives beyond human lives, every single life is just as precious, infinitely loved and valuable, containing the whole world. And I felt how the immensity of my love for her was inviting and indeed challenging me to give myself to the prayer of acting as life on behalf of life in a time when it so often seems that the powerful want to obliterate it. So this Memorial Day, my invitation to you is to practice that poet's attention, that one-year-old's wonder. Cast the light of your loving and specific attention on some part of the world that you can touch. A beloved friend, a pet, the pine cone in your hand, the alewives that you see at the river, the lichen on the maple, the fern waiting for sunshine to beckon it to unfurl, the way the wind moves through the new leaves. Just like your baby self did. Let yourself fall in love all over again. Let it initiate your curiosity, which sparks into awe, and into the humility that comes with awe, the humility of the miracle of being alive as these bodies in these times, in this gorgeous and wounded world. Let it remind you that blessedly there is so much we do not know, so much we cannot foresee. Let the mink's bristle tail and the heavy pine cone in your hand and the lichen on the maple trunk, let it deliver you into the liberation that comes with recognizing all that we don't know. We don't know what will happen. And in that unknown, there is a call to collaborate with the divine, to do what is ours, to protect and nurture and show up for life. To see again the sacredness of life allows us to give ourselves to that prayer, regardless of outcome, from a deep and bubbling wellspring of love. We give ourselves boldly, wantonly, devotionally, as part of a cosmic ecosystem of wonders in which we so deeply belong. Thanks be to God. Amen. And now will you please join me, rising in body or spirit, for our closing hymn, found in the green hymnal, number 1051, For Each Child That's Born.
And for this one, just a little bit of housekeeping here. We're going to repeat the first four measures, and then we're going to skip the next repeat, and then at the end we're going to do that repeat. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just don't worry about it. Come in when the singers come in. Cool. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's teachings. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions and sisters of and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages, and we are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, the morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we
May it be so. Please will you join me in our unison benediction found in your bulletin. For those who come here seeking God, may God go with you. For those who come embracing life, may life return your affection. For those who come to seek a path, may a way be found and the courage to take it step by step.